Hey y'all, welcome to another powerful, brand new story. I really hope you love it, and if you do, make sure to join the fam by hitting that subscribe button and dropping a comment to let us know where you're watching from. Let's dive in.
The sky hung low over Chicago that day, gray and bitter, like it was holding back tears. 12-year-old Lily Dawson clutched her baby brother tightly to her chest as the wind bit through the holes in her oversized hoodie. Beside her, a cardboard sign read, "Please help. We have nowhere to go." People passed by in suits and coats, avoiding eye contact, some tossing coins, others walking faster as if her presence was too much to bear. But Lily didn't care about pity. She didn't want handouts. She wanted hope. Her baby brother, Jamie, whimpered softly, and she adjusted the thin blanket wrapped around him. He was barely 6 months old, with wide green eyes that mirrored her own. She'd been protecting him ever since their mother disappeared 2 weeks ago, leaving only a crumpled note, half a can of formula, and a trail of unpaid bills in their motel room. Lily had done her best to keep them fed and warm, but winter was winning. And she was losing. Then she saw him. A sleek black car pulled up to the curb, and a tall man stepped out. He wore an expensive coat and carried the kind of presence that made people step aside without a word. His face looked like it had forgotten how to smile. His eyes scanned the entrance of the downtown building he was approaching, Dawson Tower. She had no idea that the name carved into the stone belonged to him. But something in Lily pushed her to act. She stumbled forward, nearly slipping on the icy sidewalk, and stood directly in his path. "Excuse me," she said, her voice shaking. "Please, sir." He looked down, frowning slightly. "My name's Lily. This is Jamie. He's my brother." She gulped. "I need someone to take care of him. He's a good baby. Doesn't cry much. Just needs food. And love." The man blinked, his mouth parting in shock. "What? I can't do it anymore," she said, her voice cracking. "I'll sleep on the streets. I'll do anything. But he needs more than I can give." For a second, the world froze. Benjamin Hart, billionaire CEO of Hartech and one of the most feared names in corporate America, stood speechless before a barefoot girl holding out a baby as if offering him her heart. People stopped. Cameras clicked. But Lily didn't care. "Take him," she whispered. "Please." Benjamin stared at her, his expression unreadable. Then slowly, he dropped to one knee and looked into the baby's face. Jamie gurgled, his chubby hand reaching out to touch Benjamin's coat. "You're serious," Benjamin said, not unkindly. Lily nodded, a tear sliding down her cheek. "I'm just a kid. I can't keep him safe." Benjamin stood. "Come with me." Lily hesitated. "I'm not taking him without you," he added. "You're both coming." The warmth inside the luxury car was like stepping into another world. Lily sat stiffly, unsure where to put her feet, afraid she'd dirty the expensive leather seats. Jamie slept peacefully in her arms, unaware of the world changing around him. Benjamin Hart sat across from her, watching in silence as the driver pulled away. "Where's your family?" he asked after a long pause. "Gone," she replied softly. "Mom left. No dad. No one else." He leaned back, his face unreadable. "I'll get you something to eat," he said. "Then we'll talk." They pulled into a private drive, a glass mansion overlooking Lake Michigan. It looked like something from a dream. Lily's mouth fell open as the doors were opened for her. Inside, warmth and soft lights wrapped around her like a hug. A housekeeper appeared, surprised by the unexpected guests, but Benjamin simply said, "They're staying." Lily was led to a large kitchen, where a plate of warm food was placed in front of her. She stared at it, her hands trembling as she picked up a fork. "You can eat," Benjamin said gently. "No one's going to take it away." She ate slowly, cautiously at first, then faster as hunger won over pride. Jamie stirred in her arms, and a woman brought over a bottle already warmed. Lily looked up, confused. "How did you know?" I have people who know things, Benjamin replied. It's what I do. When she finished, he gestured for her to follow him into a sitting room. It overlooked the lake, and the windows stretched from floor to ceiling. I need to understand, he said, sitting on the edge of a couch. Why me? Why offer your brother to a stranger? Lily swallowed. You looked like someone who could help. Not just with money, but like you had power. You looked like you could fix things. He tilted his head. And what do you want for yourself? She blinked. I don't matter. Just him. Benjamin didn't respond right away. But something in his eyes shifted. Like a long-forgotten memory stirred. You're wrong about that, he said at last. You do matter. Lily held her breath. I'm not going to take your brother from you, he added. But I am going to take care of both of you. Until we figure this out. Lily's lips parted, confused. You mean it? I never say things I don't mean. She looked down at Jamie, whose little fingers were curled around her thumb. For the first time in weeks, the ache in her chest eased. Someone had listened. Someone had seen her. And that someone was the last person she'd ever expected. Lily didn't sleep that first night in the mansion. Not because she wasn't tired, her bones ached with exhaustion, but because she couldn't believe it was real. The bed was soft. The sheets were clean. Jamie lay next to her in a crib so elegant it looked like it belonged to a royal nursery. Everything smelled like lavender and safety. But Lily had learned not to trust safety. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to her brother's gentle breaths and wondering what the catch would be. No one just helped people like her. Especially not powerful men in suits who probably had assistants for their assistants. Benjamin Hart, though, wasn't like anyone she'd ever met. Downstairs, Benjamin stood in his home office, staring at the city lights as he nursed a glass of scotch he hadn't touched. His mind replayed the girl's trembling voice, the way she'd held out that baby with both desperation and hope. It had caught him completely off guard. He'd been called a shark, a machine, even a monster in courtrooms and boardrooms alike. But Lily hadn't seen any of that. She'd seen something else. Something even he didn't quite understand. He ran a hand through his hair and called out, Marla? His head of security, Marla Jennings, entered almost instantly. A former army captain with nerves of steel, Marla rarely looked surprised. Tonight was one of those rare nights. Background? Benjamin asked. Marla nodded. The girl's name is Lily Dawson, 12 years old. No school enrollment in the past year. Her mother, Rachel Dawson, has a record, petty theft, substance issues, and 6 different addresses in 2 years. Last official sighting was at a motel 2 weeks ago. They were evicted the next morning. And the baby? Jamie Dawson. No birth certificate filed. No father listed. But by all signs, he's healthy and bonded with the girl. Benjamin sighed. So they're ghosts. No one's looking for them. Marla hesitated. Sir, are you sure about this? You've never done anything like this before. No, Benjamin said, his voice low. But I've also never had a child handed to me in the street like a gift wrapped in desperation. Marla's brow furrowed. What are you going to do? He turned toward her. I'm going to make sure they never live like that again. The next morning, Lily woke to sunlight spilling through tall windows. For a second, she forgot where she was. Then Jamie stirred beside her, and reality rushed back in. She sat up quickly, scanning the room. No one had taken him. No one had thrown them out. A quiet knock at the door startled her. It opened slowly, and a woman in her 50s with warm eyes and a tray stepped in. Good morning, sweetheart, she said kindly. I'm Anna, the housekeeper. Mr. Hart asked me to bring you breakfast. Lily sat up straighter. You mean, he still wants us here? Anna gave her a look of gentle amusement. Of course he does. He's not the kind of man who makes empty offers. Lily watched in awe as plates of pancakes, eggs, and warm milk were set down. Jamie cooed, and Anna handed Lily a baby bottle. You're welcome to shower and change, Anna added, motioning to a closet. There are clothes in your size. My size? Lily whispered. He guessed. He's good at that. An hour later, Lily stepped into Benjamin's study in jeans and a soft sweater that felt like a hug. Jamie was asleep in her arms. Benjamin looked up from his laptop. You look more rested. She nodded cautiously, unsure what to say. He motioned for her to sit. I've been thinking about how we move forward. She sat on the edge of the seat. Are you keeping us here? For now, yes. But this isn't a long-term solution. Not yet. He paused. I want to help you, legally, fully, but to do that, I need to become your guardian. Temporarily, at least. Lily's heart pounded. You want to be our dad? Not exactly, he said with a small smile. More like someone who ensures you don't go back to freezing on the streets. Her throat tightened. What if I mess it up? He leaned forward. You already did the bravest thing anyone could have done. You gave up pride to protect someone you love. That doesn't make you weak, Lily. That makes you incredible. She blinked fast. No one had ever said things like that to her. Not in school. Not in foster care. Not even her mom. Benjamin leaned back. I'll have my lawyer start the paperwork. You'll meet with a counselor, too. And I'd like to get Jamie checked out by a pediatrician. Just routine. She clutched Jamie a little tighter. We're not going to be separated, right? Never without your say, he said firmly. That night, Benjamin found himself staring at the crib in the nursery they'd prepared. Jamie slept peacefully, clutching a stuffed bear. Lily was brushing her hair in her room, humming softly. The house felt different. Alive. Marla approached him quietly. The media picked up the photo. Someone caught you with the girl on the street. Benjamin didn't flinch. Let them talk. They will, she said. And not all of it kindly. I don't care, he replied. She's just a child. And for the first time in years, I'm doing something that actually matters. Marla nodded slowly. Then let's make sure we do it right. Benjamin looked through the window again, eyes locked on the sleeping baby. He'd made fortunes. Built empires. Toppled competitors. But this was the first time he felt like someone more than just powerful. He felt human. It didn't take long before Lily and Jamie were on every news channel in Chicago. Billionaire Benjamin Hart rescues homeless children. Real-life fairy tale? Stranger hands over baby to tech mogul outside his tower. Hero or headline? Benjamin Hart's unbelievable act of compassion. Lily sat on the edge of the massive living room couch, clutching the remote and flipping between channels. Each reporter told a slightly different version of her story, some calling her a brave sister, others questioning Benjamin's motives. She looked over at Benjamin, who stood quietly near the window, jaw tense, hands in his pockets. He hadn't said much since the first wave of headlines hit. His phone had been ringing nonstop. Emails flooded in. Some people praised him. Some called him insane. But Lily didn't care about the cameras. She only cared about Jamie, who now smiled more, slept deeper, and cried less. Benjamin turned from the window. Lily, we need to talk. She put the remote down slowly. Are you sending us away? No. His tone was calm, steady. But the media won't stop. You're a story now. And I don't want you hurt by it. I'm not afraid of them, she said firmly. We've been through worse. Benjamin gave her a nod of respect. I know. But I want to protect you, not just feed you and give you a warm bed. Lily looked down. I'm sorry if we caused trouble. You didn't, he said softly. You reminded me that not everything in this world is about profit and strategy. She met his eyes. Are you still going to be our guardian? If that's still what you want. Lily nodded. I trust you. A small smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. Then let's make it official. The legal process moved fast. Benjamin's influence saw to that. His top attorney, Monica Reeves, was both brilliant and blunt. She has no birth certificate, Monica explained one afternoon, pointing to Jamie's file. We'll need a judge's approval to establish legal guardianship. And the mother? Benjamin asked. No one's found her. Her last known address was a motel downtown. We've tracked a possible sighting across state lines, but nothing solid. If she doesn't return or contest custody, we can request permanent guardianship. Benjamin glanced toward the door, where Lily was playing peekaboo with Jamie in the hallway. Let's move forward. Quietly. That evening, something strange happened. Lily was helping Anna in the kitchen when a knock echoed from the front door. Anna stepped out to answer it, but Benjamin was already moving. When he opened the door, a woman in a torn coat stood there. Her eyes were sunken, her hands shaking. Benjamin Hart? She asked, slurring slightly. I'm looking for my daughter. Benjamin's expression hardened. Who are you? Rachel Dawson, she said. Lily's mother. A chill passed through the air like a whisper. Rachel looked around the lavish home, then back at Benjamin. I heard you took her. And the baby. I didn't take them, he said. They were abandoned. Her eyes narrowed. She's my daughter. She's also terrified you'll come back. Behind him, Lily had appeared in the hallway, frozen like a statue. Her mouth parted when she saw the woman at the door. Rachel stepped forward. Lily? Lily didn't move. Mom? She whispered, her voice cracking. Rachel opened her arms. I came back for you. But Lily didn't run. Didn't cry. Didn't move at all. Benjamin stepped between them. You can't just show up after vanishing and expect to be welcomed with open arms. She's my child, Rachel snapped. And that's my baby. Now Lily found her voice. You left us. You left a note and ran. Rachel's lip trembled. I was scared. I didn't mean. No, Lily cried. You didn't feed us. Jamie was sick. I begged people for food while you disappeared for days. Rachel took a shaky step forward. I'm better now. Benjamin raised a hand. You'll need to prove that in court. Until then, you're not taking them anywhere. Rachel's eyes darkened. You think money gives you the right to decide what's best for them? No, he said quietly. But love does. And they chose to stay. With that, Rachel turned and walked down the steps, cursing under her breath. Benjamin turned back to Lily, who had slid down the wall, trembling. He knelt beside her. Hey. It's okay. She's gone. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I thought I wanted her to come back. But I don't. I don't trust her. You don't have to, he whispered. You're safe now. Later that night, Benjamin sat by the fire, Jamie resting in his lap, snuggled into a tiny blue onesie. Lily sat curled up beside them, wrapped in a blanket. Do you think she'll come back? She asked. She might, he said. But next time, we'll be ready. And you'll have people to fight for you. Like you? He looked down at her. Always. Silence settled, but it was peaceful. No longer the silence of fear, but of healing. You know what's weird? Lily asked. What? I used to dream about a family. Not the one I had, but one where I didn't have to hide or beg or be scared. Benjamin smiled gently. You're not dreaming anymore. Lily rested her head against his arm. Good. Because I want this one. He looked at the flames, his throat tightening. He'd spent a lifetime chasing the next big thing, deals, empires, headlines. But tonight, nothing felt bigger than this. The courtroom was colder than Lily expected, not just in temperature, but in energy. Rows of pew-like benches lined with curious strangers, lawyers shuffling papers, and a judge who barely glanced at her as she walked in hand with Benjamin Hart. She clutched his fingers tightly, feeling the weight of the moment pressed down on her small shoulders. Rachel Dawson sat on the other side of the room, arms crossed, eyes glassy but defiant. Her lawyer, a public defender assigned just days before, whispered hurried instructions. She barely listened. The media wasn't allowed inside, but they were everywhere outside. Camera crews, protesters, supporters holding up signs like, "Let Lily stay," and "Every child deserves safety." The judge finally spoke. "We're here to determine temporary guardianship of minor Lily Dawson and infant Jamie Dawson. Present are biological mother Rachel Dawson and petitioning guardian Benjamin Hart." Benjamin's attorney stood. "Your Honor, Mr. Hart is not only a willing guardian but a capable one. In the short time these children have been in his care, they have received medical attention, a stable home, and emotional support, something they lacked before." Rachel shot up. "I'm their mother. You can't just give my kids to some rich stranger." The judge held up a hand. "Ms. Dawson, you'll get your turn." Rachel's lawyer stood. "Your Honor, my client has a history of instability, yes, but she is actively pursuing treatment and has entered a rehabilitation program. She wishes to regain custody and rebuild her family." Lily's stomach twisted. She knew what would happen if they went back. Cold nights. Empty stomachs. Screaming. Abandonment. The judge turned to her. "Lily, I know this is a lot to ask of someone your age, but can you tell me how you feel?" Her voice shook, but she stood. "I love my mom. But I don't feel safe with her. She left me. She left my baby brother. And if Mr. Hart hadn't helped, Jamie might have died." Rachel looked down. Lily continued, "Benjamin is the first person who's made me feel like I matter. Not just someone to pity. I don't want to go back to the streets. I want to stay where I'm safe. Where Jamie is safe." There was silence in the courtroom. The judge scribbled something down, his face unreadable. Benjamin placed a hand gently on Lily's back. Her bravery cut through the noise. That evening, they waited anxiously at home. Benjamin paced the living room. Lily curled up in a corner of the couch with Jamie asleep against her chest. Anna brought tea, but no one drank it. Marla stepped in with a file. "The judge has issued a temporary guardianship order. 6 months. After that, they'll reassess." Benjamin finally exhaled. 6 months is a start. Lily's eyes lit up. "We can stay?" "For now," he said, kneeling beside her. "And if everything goes right, maybe longer." She smiled, and for the first time, it reached all the way to her eyes. The next few weeks were filled with change. Lily started therapy twice a week. Jamie was enrolled in a pediatric development program. And Benjamin, who had once filled his calendar with board meetings and acquisitions, now blocked out entire mornings for pancakes, stroller walks, and story time. It was uncharted territory. One evening, Lily found him in the garage staring at a dusty, unused bike. "You ride?" she asked. He looked at it like it belonged to someone else. "Used to. Not in a long time. You should teach me." Benjamin raised a brow. "You don't know how to ride a bike?" She shrugged. "Kind of hard when your house is a bus stop bench." He didn't laugh. Instead, he walked over and wheeled the bike out. "Then I guess we both have something to learn." But not everyone supported Benjamin's newfound fatherhood. At a gala event, a snide investor cornered him. "Cute kids, Hart. What's next? Adopting puppies and saving rainforests?" Benjamin gave him a hard stare. "They're not props. They're my family." The investor chuckled. "Don't let them cost you your empire." Benjamin leaned in. "If the cost of doing what's right is a few angry shareholders, I'll gladly pay it." That night, as they pulled up to the mansion, Lily looked up at him from the back seat. "Were people mean to you because of us?" Benjamin glanced at her in the mirror. "People fear what they don't understand. But they'll learn." She smiled. "You've changed a lot." He parked and turned to face her. "You changed me." One quiet morning, Lily and Benjamin sat at the breakfast table, Jamie chewing on a soft banana in his high chair. "Do you think we'll ever really be a family?" she asked. "We already are." "No, I mean legally. Like adoption." Benjamin studied her face. Is that something you want? She hesitated, then nodded. If you do. He reached across the table and held her hand. Then let's talk to Monica. I want this to be forever too. Lily's face broke into the biggest smile he'd seen yet. As the sun set that day, Benjamin stood alone on the balcony, watching his city below. He had been many things, CEO, tycoon, mogul. But now, he was something more. A protector. A father. And he knew, no matter what the next court date held, no matter what the press said, he was right where he belonged. 6 months came and went faster than anyone expected. The hearing that was once a terrifying cloud hanging over Lily's head had now become a hopeful marker on the calendar, a chance to put the past to rest and secure the future she'd begun to believe in. Benjamin wore a tailored gray suit that morning, his tie the same soft blue as Jamie's onesie. Lily stood beside him in a simple navy dress. She held Jamie in one arm and Benjamin's hand in the other. The courtroom looked the same, but this time, Lily wasn't scared. Rachel Dawson had not reappeared. She missed check-ins with her rehab program and hadn't responded to court summons. As the judge reviewed the final reports, it became clear, this wasn't a question of if Benjamin would gain full custody. It was a formality. The judge looked up, expression softening. Mr. Hart, Miss Dawson, do you understand the gravity of what today means? Benjamin nodded. I do, Your Honor. And Lily, do you still wish for Mr. Hart to adopt you and your brother? Lily's voice rang clear. Yes. He's the only person who's ever made us feel safe. He's our real family. The judge smiled, signed the final form, and said words Lily would never forget. Then as of today, Benjamin Hart is the legal father and guardian of Lily and Jamie Dawson. The courtroom didn't erupt in cheers. There was no applause, no dramatic music, but for Lily, the silence was deafening. She turned to Benjamin and buried her face into his chest, finally letting out a sob she'd been holding for months. You're stuck with me now, she whispered. He hugged her tighter. That's the best thing that's ever happened to me. The media buzzed with the news. Billionaire adopts homeless siblings, says it's the best investment he's ever made. From boardrooms to bedtime stories, Benjamin Hart's unexpected second act. But Benjamin didn't care. He no longer read headlines. He read bedtime books. 1 month after the adoption, Benjamin had a surprise. He led Lily and Jamie through the front doors of a 2-story brick building on the west side of the city. A brand new sign had just been installed. The Lily and Jamie Hart Center for Children. Lily's jaw dropped. What is this? It's a safe space, Benjamin explained. For kids like you once were. Warm beds. Meals. Doctors. Mentors. A chance. Lily turned to him, stunned. You did this for us? For every kid who needs a second chance, he said. Because you reminded me that sometimes, all someone needs is one person to believe in them. Lily looked up at the building, her name etched in stone above the doors. She'd never had a place before. Now she had a legacy. That night, as the three of them sat on the couch, Jamie babbling between them and Lily curled under Benjamin's arm, she asked something quietly. Do you ever wish things turned out differently? Benjamin glanced down. Not for a second. I mean, you could have just walked away that day. In the parking lot. He smiled. I almost did. Why didn't you? He thought for a moment, then looked at her. Because when I saw you, I didn't see a problem. I saw purpose. Lily leaned her head on his shoulder. I'm glad you did. So am I, he whispered. Years later, reporters would still try to tell their story. They'd call it unbelievable. Inspiring. A modern-day miracle. But to Lily and Benjamin, it wasn't a fairy tale. It was real. It was love. And it was forever.